to Liberty Basketball Week, whatever it is, I'm not sure, and our weekly press conference. So thanks for being here, and I'll open it up for questions at this time. Jackson. You always ask the first question, so I thought I'd just jump right to
no problem. Did anything in the Stutzman tournament reveal something about your players that you haven't seen before?
Yes.
Could you elaborate?
Yes, I could elaborate. Disappointed. Obviously, we had some positive things, but one thing in particular that cost us on Friday was our failure to box out and get a defensive rebound in the third quarter against Kickapoo, where they outscored us 11-2 on second chance points. So that second chance points means that they shot it, they got another rebound, and they have a second chance to score. So that was the difference in that game. And like I said, they outscored us 11-2 in just that quarter, and that was the difference in that game. That hadn't happened all year, and so that was something on the negative side. On the positive side, we hit 7 of 13 threes against St. Joe Central on Saturday. And so that was very encouraging. Just to see us shoot better, particularly from the three-point line, was very encouraging. So there's a negative for you and there's a positive for you. Yes?
Who do you think really stood out during the tournament?
Well, I think, the player right off the top of my head that stood out was Kellen Turner, who made our tournament's all-tournament team, and deservingly so. Had 26 points on Saturday, made 4 three-pointers that day, and just played particularly well against St. Joe Central. But he was consistent. Struggled a little bit Friday against Kickapoo with their defense, but had a good game against Summit Christian Academy in the opening round. So played a lot of minutes, and one thing with Kellen is not only our leading scorer, but he's also our leading rebounder, and I haven't ever had that as he plays the 2 position or a shooting guard. Never had a shooting guard be our leading rebounder, and he's doing that for us this year. So he does quite a bit for us, and he's well deserving of making that all-tournament team, like I said. I thought Artie Tuggle played consistently well throughout the tournament on both ends of the floor. Made some things happen defensively. He's stepping up his defense and also his offense. So that was good to see too. And Kwaku is starting to come around even more so with his play and contributing a little bit more just around the basket and grabbing more rebounds and doing some better things. And Brandon Moultrie shot the ball well from the perimeter, and that was good to see. And because still as much as he handles the ball, and the ball always seems to be in his hand, he hardly ever makes a turnover, which is phenomenal for him, and we definitely need that. So we've always got others. Cody Winters just hustling and leading our team with floor burns and diving on the floor and playing great defense. I thought Eric Greeley played well, especially well the first game, where he was our leading scorer with 14 points against Summit Christian Academy. And once again, just like Cody, they kind of tag team the other team's best player and guarding him. So those are some off the top of my head. I'm leaving some off, but that have done a really nice job for us. Yes?
At the Stutzman, we saw varying crowds. How important is the six-man crowd?
Oh, extremely important. I think that crowd-wise at Stutzman, we had a nice one Thursday night. We had a really good one Friday. We would have had a better one Saturday had we been playing for the championship, but unfortunately we weren't, and so obviously that's going to affect the attendance and the crowd and things, and in turn the atmosphere. But Yeah, just I thought we drew pretty good numbers throughout, not in just support of the Blue Jays, but in support of everyone. And I just, in looking at the crowds, I thought we put together a really good basketball tournament for just the general basketball fan that could come out and watch 4 really good basketball games in a row for not a lot of money. So I think that we'll try to continue to put together a great tournament for basketball fans, and it always helps when Liberty, or in this case Liberty North, does well in the tournament, because our attendance with hometown teams is obviously going to increase. But on the championship day, that wasn't the case. But still, people saw some really good basketball on Saturday. Yes.
What are some improvements that you're going to take from the tournament to improve the rest of the season?
Good question. What did we notice during the tournament that we still need to work on? Well, we can't let, as I mentioned earlier, we can't let a team get so many offensive rebounds and second chance points on us. So I'm not overly concerned, but I think that was it was just one of those things that happened. There were some that we were out of position, and technique and fundamental wise, we didn't do a good job of boxing out. But for the most part this year, we've done a phenomenal job. So I think that's just a little glitch, and we'll talk about it. We'll practice it, but that's one thing that we can't let happen again. The other thing that we've got to do is we just got to get the best shot we can on each possession, and so that might mean a wide open 3. Is a great shot for us. It might mean that we make 10 passes and we get the ball inside to one of our post players, and they make a post move. It might mean that we run the alleys and we're in transition or fast break situation, and we get a good layup before the defense gets set up, or it could just be pounding out and getting to the free throw line, and we score 2 points from the foul line. So. Offensively, we've just got to become more efficient. We've got to shoot a little bit higher percentage from the field, particularly from the 3-point line. We need to set better picks, make better passes, so we can get better shots. Because sometimes we get in a funk where. The shots aren't falling, and we got to do a better job. We got to do a better job of being able to score in a variety of ways than just, making a couple passes and launching a 3, which we've cut down on because our percentages have told us to. But we can't compete against a quality team like Kickapoo and shoot 27% from the field like we did Friday night. That's another reason how we got beat that night. Yes.
You talked a little about your offense.
Yep.
What about your defense?
Defense I'm very pleased with. Your brother's doing a great job, Jackson. He's, we're defense first, offense second, and that's kind of been an adjustment for our team, because we got some pretty offensive-minded guys, but they're trying to figure out that defense can transfer immediately into offense, and when you can get a steal, force a turnover, get a rebound and a quick outlet and things like that, you can go on the transition side, fast break side, and run and score some easy points. And I think that's one thing that we're starting to do a little bit better job of. It was a difference in the game in the third quarter against St. Joe Central, where we got stops and we converted them into points rather easily. I think we had probably 4 successful stops on the defensive end, and we converted those 4 or 5 times in a row on offense. When that happens, you're going to go on a 10-0 run or more, and that could be the difference in the game. And in that case, Saturday it was. And so, Yeah, defensively coming into, we start conference play tonight, and our defense has to pick it up. Because there's some tremendous players in our conference, and it's not going to be easy. So we talked about that as we begin playing against Lee Summit North tonight, and the quality team that they have. We've got our work cut out for us defensively, but I know we're ready, and we'll be fine. Other questions? Yes, sir.
So were you happy with the schedule changes to the assessment tournament?
Sure. Yeah, I liked it. We had to. I don't mind playing 3 games in 3 days. It's fine, particularly at this point of the year, where you've got some things ironed out. It's playing 3 games in 3 days now is a lot different than it was down at Kickapoo, because there's so many different things that. Competition showed our staff that we needed to get better at, and we didn't. You don't have time to do that in a 3-game tournament down there. But it's early in the season. We've got a lot of those things ironed out. We've gotten better at those, and so the adjustment, the things that you need to adjust to do better as a team aren't as many. There are still some things, but they're not as many. We've had a lot of time to cover things and get better at those. So I like the format. We needed to accommodate Kickapoo since they're an out-of-town team, so that's why we played on Saturday. And I think for the most part it went well. So it was a good 3 days of basketball. Yes.
Liberty lost Jack Smith. Would you like to address that?
Sure, I definitely would. Thanks for asking. Yeah, with a lot of sadness and a heavy heart, last Wednesday we had to address the team and tell them that Jack Smith had passed away, and it was devastating news. News I heard from a good friend of mine and one of Jack's really, really good friends, Jeff Billings, and. We're still dealing with it. I'm still dealing with it. It hasn't been easy, but it's sad that because I've known him for almost 20 years. He's always been with us. A lot of practices, almost every single game. We've taken him on trips with us, out-of-town trips, team camps, summer leagues. I mean, you name it. He's always been around our program, and when someone like that isn't around anymore, it leaves quite a void and quite a vacancy, and it's sad. And it was sad that the Stessman tournament those were his 3 favorite days of the year, and to pass away one day before it got started was disappointing too. But Jack lived a tremendous life, and a life that I told our players when I met with them and told them the sad news that we all kind of need to live our life like Jack, because he got the most out of it, and how he treated people and how he interacted with people and how he built relationships, just unbelievable. And I told the guys that that day alone, I had probably close to 100 messages about Jack, and now at this point in time, well over that, and just former players, opposing coaches, schools, referees, everyone that I run in contact with expresses their condolence to, and that's such a. I really appreciate that because of the tough time that we're going through. But that just points out that Jack was a friend of everyone. And if he met you one time, you had a friend, and he would always say hi to you. And I think everyone, our society, our world would be a lot better place if we had that approach like Jack did. So he's a special person, and we obviously going to miss him. Well, thank you for attending today. I really appreciate it. I hope everyone has a super day and a great week. And we are on the road a couple times this week at Lee Summit North and Ray Peck, but we'll be back to Coakley soon. Hope to see you there. Thanks. Take care.
The weekly Coaches News Conference on KLPS TV is brought to you by Hawthorne Bank, a proud sponsor of Liberty School District. At Hawthorne Bank, we understand the importance of strong community in a strong school district. We also understand the importance of strong financial future for our school district's families and for our local businesses. Hawthorne Bank, with you every step. And by Jackson Hewitt. For all your tax needs, personal or business, rely on tax professionals at Jackson Hewitt and Liberty, a full-service tax preparation professional. Jackson Hewitt.